Hi, my name is Gabe Bauer and welcome to Behind the Bar, where we bring you historical cocktails that are enjoyed every day. Today what we have for you is a drink that is called the Angel's Kiss. We're getting this once again from our cocktail recipe book known as Just Cocktails. Now, the Angel's Kiss has also been used nowadays as a more modern shot. It is layered, I think, with Bailey's Irish Cream and some other ingredients. It's delicious, it's very popular, but we're going to go with the 1939 version, which includes several other little bit exotic flavors to our drink. So let us begin. For our Angel's Kiss drink, we're going to start out with our cordial glass here. Now, normally this would actually be in a Pousse Café glass, which is just a layering glass. So similar to our cordial glass, but it actually has a flat bottom here, and then it kind of goes up the sides cylindrically from there. So as opposed to everything coming to a point, it actually flattens out and then goes up. And very, very popular back in the day, and even nowadays, especially in layered drinks, which is what this drink will be. And so let's get into our layering here. So the first thing that we're gonna put in here is creme de cacao. Now this is probably going to be the heaviest thing that's gonna sit at the bottom of our glass. Why? Because it's probably the highest in sugar. So it's gonna make it more dense than the other liquors that we have on our plate. So we're using the Kuiper Grey Creme de Cacao, and we're just gonna put in for about 1 part here. That's, we could put a little bit more. There we go. Beautiful. That wonderful dark coloration. Fantastic start to our drink. I certainly think so. I'm actually going to put in a little bit more. Because the thing about this drink is that although it's layered and it's in a cordial glass, even if it was in a Pousse Café glass, it is a little bit bigger, so we want to work with better quantities, because we want to make sure that our layering is sufficient. Otherwise, if you wanted to do this into a shot glass, that would be just as fine. Next, we're going to put in our creme de violet. It's a delicious little cocktail here. It's made out of violet petals. Now, the original recipe here called for creme de yvette, but of course, creme de yvette is not the easiest to get in my area. The only difference between creme de violet and creme de yvette is the inclusion of berries in the recipe. Things like strawberries and blueberries and raspberries. So creme de violet is very similar, but as opposed to creme de yvette, like I said, it's just a little bit more herbal. Now, if you wanted to make your own combination of liquors to get close to a creme de yvette, I would include creme de violet and Chambord. Since Chambord is a raspberry liqueur, that would probably bring in some of the berryness that we are missing from the creme de violet. But we're going to layer this on top of our creme de cacao. Don't have to worry too much about the pour here. These are pretty stark in differences, but the reason why I'm doing this is I want to spread out the surface area so it doesn't penetrate too deeply, and that way we get very defined layers. I think that's about enough. And if we look at our color, those two will start to separate out a little bit better here. So if we look at our color, they're both very dark and they're still settling a little bit, but you'll be able to see as you bring it up to the light that there's a separation between the two, that the creme de cacao is on the bottom and the creme de violet is actually on top. And actually I'm going to pour in a little bit more for our drink. It's probably going to disturb the layering a little bit, but that will settle down in time. Next, our next part of the drink here that we're going to add is, it calls for cream. So we got regular whipping cream here, nothing too heavy. And because it's a regular whipping cream and not a heavy whipping cream, it's not going to be as dense, so this will be able to actually float on top of both. And once again, we're going to use our spoon here just to ease the pour. Oh man, look at that. Is that not fantastic? That just looks awesome, I think. Right now it actually looks a lot like a really dark beer, like a nice stout. Of course, the stark difference of the white cream versus obviously the darks here in the creme de violet and the creme de cacao. But finally, we are going to finish off this drink with some brandy. Now, I'm using Christian Brothers brandy. It's got 40% alcohol, so this is going to be the easiest to float for sure. Delicious brandy, not too sweet. It does a great job of actually balancing out other sweet flavors in our drinks. And this will be a very welcome contribution, I think, to these already super sweet cocktail. So let's pour that on in. You can already see it's making its way to the top, and there you have it. And look at that. A little bit dirtier than perhaps we may have initially wanted, but does that not look like a beer? I mean, come on. It's like I took an ale and put it on top of a stout. And it's fantastic. It really is fantastic. And if you hold it to the light, you can really see the difference between the creme de violet and the creme de cacao. A little bit difficult to see perhaps here on camera, but that's all right. But there you have it. That is the Angel's Kiss. Now that looks pretty fantastic. I'm gonna take a sip here. It's gonna be pretty difficult to do to get everything in it, so I'm gonna have to take a pretty big glug. So, bottoms up. I don't think I got any of the creme de violet, so I'm gonna take another one. There it is. Oh yeah. You know what? Yep. If that isn't fantastic, I don't know what is. Now, of course, that's a very good amount of alcohol. So I would certainly suggest if you're doing this at home or if you're doing this for your friends, it's an excellent shot to be able to layer with. There's a lot of different alcohols that you're working with, a lot of big, bold flavors. The chocolate is so powerful in that creme de cacao, but the violet really comes through, that delicious herbaliness that kind of cuts through everything else. It's probably the thing that you remember the most from because it's the flavor that you are least exposed to. The brandy is excellent and the cream is so refreshing. Unsweetened cream is one of the most refreshing things and one of the most delightful things in desserts. And for this dessert drink, if you're putting that in a shot, it would be fantastic. So there you have it, the Angel's Kiss. That is fantastic. I feel like I've been kissed by an angel, especially after drinking that much, but certainly try it out for yourselves. If you guys find any cocktails that are similar to the ones that we've given you here in this series, please feel free to reach out to us, let us know. Also let us know of any other cocktails that have been around in your area, especially ones that have some historical significance. We'd love to add them to our repertoire here on Behind the Bar. But from all of us here at Top Shelf History, cheers.